started with locating and using digital images. Oh, we're going to learn so much in this module. You can learn how to search for and save digital images from various online collections. We're going to also talk about licensing and copyright rules, so we make sure that we are using all these resources ethically and not using copyrighted images in the classroom. You're also going to learn about how to use images in projects with students. We'll be going to different sites, and you'll be learning so much about how to access and safely use digital images online. First of all, we're going to start by locating images online. One of the things that we're not going to be covering in this module is using your own digital camera to capture images. The great part about that is as long as you follow the policy for your school and how you can use images about students, you don't have to worry about getting copyright information or any of those kind of things, getting permissions, because you took the image yourself. And so those, right out of the gate, if you have images, that is the best way to go. But just make sure that you don't post anything online that goes against the policy of your school district. But if you need to find images for a project, for a teacher-created project or student-created project, let's go ahead and look at where can you go online to get those images. I like Flickr. I actually like Flickr better than Google Images for a couple of reasons, and I'm going to explain those. Flickr is a large collection of images, perfect if you need people, places, and things, and contemporary issues. Flickr has some historic images that people have scanned in or uploaded, but for the most part, Flickr is not for historic images. If you need pictures of sunsets, clouds, people smiling, this is the place to go on Flickr. Now, if you look over to the right, there's a search button. And on that search button, that's just a generic search. And we don't want to be using that search button because what we really want to make sure is that the images that you're searching for are not copyrighted images. You want to avoid using copyright images in your classroom so you can use them more than once for educational purposes. So let's just eliminate the copyright images while we search. So what I would like you to do is click on the blue search button, and when you click on that button, it takes you to a page like this. Don't search here yet. I want you now to look to the right, and I would like you to click on Advanced Search. Very, very important that you click on Advanced Search. Now, once you do it once, it should stay, but I'm noticing, depending on how some people's computers are set up, sometimes you have to come back and go through this process again. So by clicking on the Advanced Search, you will see a screen that looks like this. In the upper right-hand corner, you want to search for these words. Now, when you do a search for, let's say, clouds, and you get an abandoned school, and you think, how did that happen? Well, there's no librarian checking in any pictures on Flickr or anywhere on the internet, and people that uploaded images decide what keywords that image is going to fit. So let's say that abandoned school is there, and the person said, oh, I see some clouds in the background, and they tagged it as a cloud. When you do your search, that's why you see the abandoned school when you thought you were looking for clouds. It's kind of crazy, but that's the way searching on the internet is. So in the upper right-hand corner, you're going to put these words, and then I want you to jump all the way down to the last segment, which is called Creative Commons. You want to check the button, the box that says only search within Creative Commons licensed content. And without being a lawyer, I'm going to explain that Creative Commons means go ahead, use my image for your projects, mix them up, mash them up, do what you'd like with my images, just don't resell them and make money. And people are doing this because there's this sense of giving and sharing, and licensed under Creative Commons is that giving and sharing. Professional photographers aren't giving and sharing, they're copyrighting their images and disabling the ability to download the image. So you want to click on the Creative Commons license, and then what you see, you'll be able to go ahead and make sure that those are the images that you can use. Now, Google Images is great, great. Really good for historic images. But what I miss on Google Images is that real clean way to take out things licensed just on Creative Commons. There is an advanced search, so I'm in Google Images right now, not just Google, but Google Images. And if you look over to the right, there's the advanced search, image search. That's what you want. Just like in Flickr, you want to be in that advanced image search. And here you come to all these choices. First thing you want to do is put in what you're searching for up in the top blue bar. And then we're going to jump all the way down to the usage rights, which is the second to last one, and not filtered by license. That's the default. So if you want to change that, we're going to use the pull-down menu to do that. So again, this doesn't mean that you search for clouds and you're going to get that abandoned school, but we're hoping to kind of cut some things out. So you can pick all your different choices in here to see exactly what you're looking for. For example, if you want clip art for sure and you don't want images, you can just go ahead and clip art right underneath the blue section. So now let's go and look at usage rights in Google Images. The pull-down menu, not filtered by license, and then labeled for reuse, labeled for commercial reuse, labeled for reuse and modification. That's the one that I use most often because I want to reuse that image the person has uploaded, and I also want to modify it because I want to put it into my project, or maybe I want to edit it or something like that. So Google Image Search. Make sure you use the advanced image search. You know, sometimes you need to create your own image, and if you're lucky enough to be talented enough in Photoshop, you can do that. But if you're not, you can go ahead and use one of these nifty websites. And I love Image Chef, but it's not for children. It's not for children because there's virtual tattoos and there's a few inappropriate little images. So this is more if you need to make an image, let's say you want to put your name and the Hollywood Walk of Fame, this would be where you would come and you can do that. And these are royalty free. They're all stamped with the Image Chef copyright in the bottom, but you can go ahead and use these anywhere that you would like. So sometimes you need to create your own image. Now, if you're going to get into images, you need an organization system or they will be all over your hard drive. They'll be everywhere. And so we need some type of system. So let's take a look at what systems are available. This is my favorite, and this is by Google. This is actually software that you download from Google, and it's called Picasa. And what I love about it is the organization system. It puts everything in a library that's very easy to search, and it organizes things in really interesting ways. You can do it by date. You can do it by, oh, I like that timeline of the date. That's my favorite one. But recently added this feature that is face recognition. That's on Facebook, but I've never seen it in software. Picasa has face recognition, where you can go through your entire library, and Picasa looks at the face and analyzes, is this? And then gives you choices, and you just check. It can recognize my sons from when they were 3 to up to 15, 16. They can say, oh, this is so-and-so, and you just check the button. That's pretty amazing. So it's a piece of software that has to be downloaded and installed, and that might be a problem in some of your school districts. So Picasa is my favorite. iPhoto is a Mac program that does a very similar thing with putting everything into folders and organizing them, and it also has red eye reduction like Picasa, and it has that face recognition, which really, if you have a lot of images, it really helps you clean up your clutter. I use Snapfish a lot, especially when the kids were younger and you're shooting the t-ball game and people all wanted prints. Well, I don't want to deal with who needs double prints. By Snapfish, you can make different rooms within Snapfish. So you could have the T-ball room, and people can come in and print the images that they want. I really like that. And Snapfish lets you keep your images for free, and they love you to buy photo books and calendars and things like that. So would all the other sites that I just showed you too. Editing images. Now, if you find an image that's close, you can go ahead and edit it. This is a new one. I have not used this extensively, but Picnic has some really neat editing features, some things you can add to it. You can put different looks and feels with your picture, and it's fun, and it's all online. What's great about Picnic, you don't need to download any software, which I know is a major problem in a lot of your schools, that you can't download, or you can download but you can't install. So Picnic is a great online editing tool for you. In Photoshop, the expensive high-end Photoshop also has a Photoshop Online that lets you go ahead and do some editing. It's not going to be as extensive as buying the big Photoshop or Photoshop elements, but it really can do quite a bit fixing red eye, recropping, straightening, those kind of things. So at Photoshop.com, there really are some great tools to use for your editing of your images. If you need heavy duty, you're going to need some software, but this is really just the quick fix. Now, what images collections are already out there that people have already organized and put together for you? Let's take a look. This one is, a lot of people don't know about this. If you subscribe to Discovery Streaming, they're inside, once you log in, you can search for sound effects, audio clips, images, and what's great about searching within Discovery Streaming is I feel very comfortable leaving students in here because it's part of the Discovery family and it's clean. I can't say that back on Google and Flickr. And so I really like that. So when you do a search, let's say that you need a picture of a moose for a project, you'd put in moose, and from the pull-down menu, you pick what you want. Do you want a sound of a moose? Do you want an image? You pick what you want, and then it searches its collection. It's a little side note for you. They also have lots of different songs and little math rhymes and things like that. So there's a lot here. But again, this is a subscription-based site by building or district. This is all available to you for free online, the National Archives. And the National Archives has done some really neat things about bringing the archives into the classroom. And so there's, over to the right, there's an educator and student, and you can go in there. There's complete lesson plans written. There's all different things. But the National Archives is a really good place if you need historic images. Be careful though. Make sure you read with each image if it's available in the public domain, if it is okay for you to use, and so on. If they're not okay for you to use, usually that's been disabled, but always check. So the National Archives, and one of my favorites, the Library of Congress. Library of Congress not only has still images, but video, audio, there's webcasts, there's all different things, but great, rich collection of, especially if you need historic images. So I hope you picked up a few things about locating and using digital images. Just make sure you follow copyright, most importantly, and make sure if you're going to post anything online that you are using and following your school policy. So thank you for joining me. Have fun using digital images.